Hi there, welcome back if you're returning, and if you're new, hello, it's very nice to meet you. I'm going to do a kind of monthly roundup. I try and do one of these every month. Doesn't mean that it's going to be a favourites, it just means things that have been happening in the month I'm going to speak about. You will see I am in a completely different place to do a video. I tend to try and do videos more generally in my bedroom and only in front of the wardrobe and things if I'm talking about clothes. But my house has been in complete disarray this month. So unfortunately we were flooded by our neighbours from above. So my bathroom was totaled basically. So we've had to book a guy to come in and redecorate. Generally I would do that kind of stuff myself, but I do not have the time at the moment to actually have the time to take away and do that myself. So we've had to book somebody in to do it, and plus my neighbours have offered to pay because this is actually the third time that they've done it. Don't even ask, because I was just about ready to strangle someone when it happened. So they have offered to pay for the repairs, which I'm very glad of. And we thought, seeing as we're going to have to get somebody kind of more professional in to do this, why don't we get our bedroom done at the same time? Why don't we get our living room done at the same time? Blah, blah, blah. Living room, we are going to do all by ourselves. There will be videos coming up on kind of renovation. I don't like calling it renovation because it's basically just DIY. We're not like doing big renovations or anything like that to our flat. But I will have videos coming up on that, and at the moment there is pretty much nowhere for me to sit in my house that doesn't have lots of stuff kicking about from other rooms in it. Like at the moment I've got my mirror from my bedroom, I've got lots of frames from off the wall in my bedroom over here. There's just stuff everywhere. And also in my bedroom, the backdrop of my wallpaper is now like stripped wallpaper, so it looks a bit meh. So I'm sitting in front of my wardrobes and I have a light box on because we are now, what date is this? It is the 2nd of November as I film this, even though this is an October roundup. And it is pitch black outside, and I finished night shift last night, so I've got up a little bit later in the day and I wasn't able to film this in the daylight, so sorry about that. So what do I have to tell you about this month? I think, first of all, I'm just going to point out my hair. I had a little trim. My girl who does my hair, and she does the beautiful orange colour in my hair, has moved to Sri Lanka. Brilliant for her, bad for me. I went to a new place, it was very nice, the lady was very nice. It was in conjunction with the Glasgow City College, and they have a professional like hair cutting area salon, that's the right word to use, and it's called Amethyst, and it was lovely and the girls couldn't have been any nicer. Unfortunately for me, when I went in and kind of showed them the photos of the colour that my hair is normally, they didn't have that in stock. So she did put a kind of more auburn through it, I would say, but I feel this now looks a lot more like my hair's a little more, it's just tonal, it's not really nice and bright and orange like maybe the colour of my eyeshadow today. So I think what I'm going to do is put something over the top of it a bit brighter. I'll see, I'll maybe get crazy colour and tangerine. The actual cut I like, the actual like ladies were lovely and what they done was lovely. It's just not that nice bright vibrant colour that Rachel used to do for me. So, but I have had a little trim, so that was kind of first thing I wanted to speak about. Also this month I have been 20 years being diabetic. On the 21st of October I was 20 years diabetic. I'm not going to like delve into that too much. I've got lots of videos on my thoughts and feelings on having a chronic illness for so long. If my, like, it's a chronic illness, it affects me every single day of my life. I have to really think about what I'm doing. On the surface of it, it's one of these invisible illnesses that nobody sees and nobody really even thinks that I have an illness. But I don't know, it doesn't really affect me. It doesn't put any negative impact for the most part on my life. So I'm not going to go into any great detail, but I just thought I would do that as well because October was a bit of a, what do you call it? Not a landmine, that's not it. Landmark. That's the word I'm looking for. It was a bit of a landmark for me. Sorry, I just have to move my camera there because the battery just died. You should check these things before you start filming a video, but anyway. Yeah, so I thought I would just mention the 20 years diabetic because it was a little bit of a landmark for me. So, you know, that's all I've got to say about it. 20 years diabetic. Pat on the back to myself. Let's talk about some TV, films, books, all that kind of stuff. First of all, still listening to my favourite murder podcast, you'll be sick of hearing me tell you about that. They always talk about on that podcast about a programme called Survivor and Cold Case Files. And I noticed on Netflix the other week that Cold Case Files is now on UK Netflix. So we've started watching that. I do like it. I think it's quite enjoyable. I find it not terribly gripping. I know it sounds awful. we started watching it. The first few episodes I kind of watched and was very interested in, but now I find it's more of a background watch. Like, I'm not gripped to it. I kind of think, I don't know, it's maybe a little bit too American for my liking. It's kind of like, oh, and then this happened. Do you know, like, there's real, like, voiceover stuff. There is real life stuff as well, but there is part of me that feels it is just a little bit too, I don't know, prepared, even though it is true stories. I don't know what it is. It's just not hooked me. But I've been watching that. What else have I been watching? I've been watching the third series of, not Growing Pains, what's it called? Big Mouth. And that is an adult cartoon. I think this is the third series of it. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I like it. I used to like South Park, or still do. I like kind of a bit crass adult cartoon humour, but I know that's not going to be for everybody. What else did we watch? Living With Yourself, the one with Paul Rudd and Aisling B. That was okay. Again, interesting. We watched it in a very short space of time. I think we managed to get through it in maybe 3 days, 3 nights or something like that. And again, liked it, but wasn't absolutely gripped. And I know that something is really gripping me. It's one that I'm like, right, do you know what? We're going to watch this for a couple of hours after dinner or whatever, a couple of episodes of it. I'm going to put my phone over there. I'm not going to touch it because I want to watch this. I found all the things recently that I've been watching have been like, yeah, I'm on a phone, but I'm watching that too, which I know you shouldn't do. You should try and concentrate on the one thing. But it's just, there's not been things that are that gripping. The one with Paul Rudd was very interesting. It's something like he goes to get rejuvenated at a spa, and it turns out what they do is actually clone him to be him, but a slightly like him 20 years before, but not physically, just his energy and things like that. And it was interesting. I think there will be a second series of that for the way it ended. I'm not entirely sure how they will go about that, but it was okay. We also have been watching The Good Place because the new series of that is on. Again, that's something that I can just routinely watch when the new series comes out. Again, something that's a little bit more American than I'm used to watching, but I do like it. I think it's really good. We also went to the cinema this month to go and see The Joker. What else did we see? I think we also seen Ad Astra, the Brad Pitt one, but I want to talk about The Joker one because it was phenomenal. I kind of like a bit of more superhero-y stuff. I do like the Batman films. I like the originals, and then like the ones with Heath Ledger and Christian Bale. Like, I've liked all of those ones, but I have to say this Joker film, because it's like a prequel, because it's how you're finding out how the Joker came to be, I loved it. And I think that Joaquin Phoenix was amazing. I think that the part he played, he didn't have to be playing the Joker. You know what I mean? Like, he could have been just telling a story of somebody with some severe mental health issues who needed help, which I'm not saying you go out killing people, that is not a good idea. But I think it touched on some really interesting points of how mental health is perceived, but also that, you know, if people aren't maybe given support due to an illness, just how it can take over their life and become something really pretty horrific. And I just thought it was done really, really well. Obviously, like, there was parts in it where, you know, he was like dancing downstairs. I don't know if you've seen that clip, maybe you've seen it from the trailer. And at that point, I'm just watching the film thinking, yeah, fuck Batman, like, yes, come on, the Joker. Even though you would always usually be like, oh, Batman's the man and Joker's a total asshole. But you've just got this real underdog feel to it again, even though he's a bit of a serial killer in it. Don't know how you feel about that, but I just thought it was done brilliantly, and you should really make time to go and see it if it's still in a cinema. I don't know when it'll be released thereafter. You'll probably get it on Sky or whatever you've got, but I think it was amazing and I would highly recommend to go and see it in the cinema. And talking of kind of psychopaths, sociopaths type people, I'm going to move on to a book that I've read this month. I actually bought this at the start of November, I want to say. It was just before I went on holiday to Rhodes, and I never really got time to read it. I kind of started reading it on holiday and never really got through it, but I've made a point of making sure I finished it this month. I have to say, who's it by? M.E. Thomas, which I think is like a pseudonym. I don't think that's the actual person. I think they're writing under an author pen. Basically, it says on the back here, let me just give you a bit of blurb. M.E. Thomas is a high-functioning, non-criminal sociopath. They are charismatic and successful. You would be charmed if you met them, might even be seduced by them. You would not realise that they are studying to find out your flaws, is ruthlessly manipulative and does not feel guilt or remorse. That's kind of just there is a lot more on the back there, but I'm not going to go into it. So I thought this sounded really interesting. As I've said before, I really like kind of looking at criminal minds and psychopath books and kind of how the mind works. I like kind of read a book about neurology and how that works as well, and that was more of a medical side as opposed to a psychiatric side of things. I find it really interesting, so I thought I was really going to enjoy this book. I have to say though, it says here, I don't know, the Boston Globe or something, it's like, it says on it like it's gripping, it's this, it's that. I didn't find it gripping. I really didn't. I found it to be really like tiresome to get through. Because it's probably written by a sociopath, that's probably why. Because I just felt throughout it, all she done was talk about herself. Now, yes, obviously it's her talking about herself, confessions of a sociopath. But I felt a lot of explanation was very long-winded. I felt that it was a bit like, yeah, okay, what's your point here? Because you're basically just telling me how you love yourself constantly, which I get is part and parcel of like sociopaths and psychopaths have no realisation of other people's feelings around them, and they really just think about themselves quite a lot of the time or what benefits them. But it was a bit boring. I just found it a little bit like, I thought this was going to be a bit more nitty gritty. I thought it was going to be a bit more interesting. You're telling me it's confessions of a sociopath, whereas I don't feel you overly confessed anything ridiculous. I think a lot of the things that I read about, I was like, you know what, we must all have a bit of sociopath in us. We must all be kind of selfish nowadays, because there was a lot of it in it, and I thought, I know lots of people that would do that. I would probably do that myself. Some of the things I wouldn't. Some of it was pretty mean, but I just thought, nah, it's really not what I expected it to be. Give it a read if you want, but honestly, the way that it's kind of built up, it's not that. It's not that at all. It's pretty tame, to be honest with you. Alright, the last like non-skincare beauty thing that I'm going to speak about are candles from TK Maxx. Now, obviously now it's November, some of these are a bit kind of obsolete in the sense that this has a black cat on it and like spiders and stuff like that. There. And it's called A Frightful Tale, this candle. It's by M of WG, and the fragrance is Chestnut Woods, full of mystery, and there's like a little story on the side. I thought it was a really pretty candle. I think this one personally smells a little bit better in the jar than it does fill the room, but very, very nice. From TK Maxx. I always go to TK Maxx to get my candles. I think that, obviously I'm telling you this is more of a kind of autumn one. I will continue to burn this throughout November. It really doesn't bother me. It's a very winter, like warm fragrance, but it's obviously very Halloween based. So I think candles, TK Maxx are brilliant for seasonal candles. So by the time you watch this, they may still have some kind of autumn winter candles in, some Halloween vibes, but they will also have a lot of really nice Christmas ones. I always find they've got lovely Christmas ones in it this time of year. This one, however, is not specifically a Halloween one, but definitely, again, this time of year. It's called Heirloom Pumpkin and Bourbon, and this one is from DW Naturals. Now, these happen to be my favourite candles that you can get from TK Maxx. And I have looked for these online just to be able to buy them if I can't see any in TK Maxx. And they're quite expensive when you buy them just from their own site. This is glorious, so this is a proper, like, fills the whole room up. Alan hates me buying candles. He's like, you could open a shop with the amount of candles and crap like that you've got, basically. And whenever we go somewhere and I pick up a candle, he's like, you don't need it. But I had bought this one and I lit it a couple of weeks back, and he walked in and was like, that's a lovely smell, that candle's really nice. And I thought, well, it must be a bloody winner if he likes it, because he hates candles. I think they're overrated. But it's so nice. It's kind of sweet. I can smell the pumpkin-y smell of it. It's just a typical kind of warm home fragrance for that time of year. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm being very cliche, but that proper like autumnal, almost toffee, burnt toffee type nice smell. Alright, so moving on to skincare and makeup now. First of all, I'm going to speak to you about Korres. I don't ever know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's the Greek brand. And this is the 48-hour Moisturising Pro Advanced Repair Sleeping Facial with Greek yogurt, and it is used for nighttime. Now, if you've watched my channel for any length of time, you will know that I am not committed to any one moisturiser during the day or one moisturiser during the night. Night ones, even less so. Day moisturisers, there's kind of the rotation that I will always go back to and try again. Night ones, I just try loads of different ones and I've never found one that I fell in love with. So I picked this up. It's meant to be like probiotic and it's got yogurt in it and all that. I had to look at the ingredients. I wouldn't say there's anything overly active in them, and it certainly reads more like it is a sleeping mask as opposed to a moisturiser, but I use it like a moisturiser. So use it at night. I use it every night as well. It's got a very thick consistency. As I say, it says it's a kind of Greek yogurt effect, and I certainly think it's a very, very thick and hydrating nighttime cream, and I've really been enjoying it. I don't know where I can pick up Corres in the UK anymore. I brought this back from duty free when I was coming back from Greece, and I specifically picked it up because I really enjoyed the Corres brand, but I feel it's one that's kind of fell by the wayside in the UK in recent years. So I'll have a wee look online, see what the prices are like online, may add it to my Christmas list because I've been really enjoying it, and it's something that I just, even tonight for instance, last night, this morning, oh, I'm so confused because I'm night shift. This morning I got in at 8 o'clock in the morning, I slathered my face in this, I then washed it off when I got up, well never washed it off, just kind of wiped my face down when I got up, and I felt like I was so much more moisturised and plumped and what have you, and I know that's kind of what everybody says when they do sleeping masks, but this has been really nice to use. I've been really enjoying it, so big shout out to this, I think it's great. The second Corres product, however, I'm not fussed about at all. Again, picked it up at the same time as that one. This is the Pomegranate Tonic Lotion. Now, this here is for all skin types. This here, it says it's for oily to combination skin. Now, when I read this and then I had to look at the ingredients as well, I thought, I don't think this is going to be for me. This was maybe a silly purchase on my part. I think it is more of a, if you feel a little bit more oily, you've got maybe a bit more hormonal breakouts, stuff like that. You've got a little bit more oil going on in your face. And it's for a kind of more mattifying effect, I want to say. Let me just read it on the back. It says that it's a toning and balancing lotion, removes makeup. It does not do that. I wouldn't use it to try and take off a face of makeup. Maybe it's just claiming once you've cleansed your face it will take off any excess that you've missed, but I wouldn't use it to try and take off makeup. Impurities and excess sebum, providing a matte finish. That sentence alone I should have known. Why did I pick this up? Pomegranate and witch hazel extracts, rich astringent tannins. It tightens the pores and tones the skin. Now, I like the sound of that half. I like the sound that it's tightening pores, it's like brightening the skin, tones it, whatever, right? But yeah, mattifying, definitely mattifying. And for me, yeah, if you know me, that's not what I'm looking for. I want to be like, woo, sweaty as, looking shiny, looking dewy, looking plump. I have used it, I've maybe used to like here on it. Obviously I don't want to waste it, but it's not one that I will repurchase, and I don't think it's for me. If anybody uses this and they do have oily skin and they have issues like that, what have you thought? Do you think this is really good? If I have anybody over in Greece like watching this and they use this, let me know. Again, I don't know if this is available quite readily in the UK. The next two items, I think this one I briefly mentioned at the end of my September roundup, but I bought them at the same time, and if you follow me over on Instagram you would have seen a little mini haul I done, and I done a giveaway and somebody won that, so it was really good. Follow me over there for more. This is a brightening moisturising cream, vitamin C and yuzu. Now, yuzu, as far as I know, is also a kind of citrus based fruit. It's okay. The reason I picked it up is because I thought this is going to try and be a little dupe for the Ole Henriksen. It's not that, and to be honest with you, it's fine, it's nice, but I'm a little bit like, meh. It's just like an orange smelling, and it's very highly fragranced cream. It's not overly, like, I would prefer it to be a little bit heavier, but it's not a light moisturiser either. If you do have oily skin, you might think, no, that's too heavy for me. It's relative, like, it's reasonably priced. I'll put all the prices of everything below, but I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like I already use like vitamin C here, and I use vitamin C serums all the time. Did I need it in a moisturiser? Probably not, but as I say, not committed to any one moisturiser and kind of just wanted to give this a bash. Probably won't purchase it again. And the next vitamin C is from the Inkey list. Now, I have tried in the last year a whole array of vitamin Cs. So initially I tried Drunk Elephant, then I tried Kiehls, then I tried The Ordinary. What else have I tried? I've tried another one and I can't remember. I'm now trying this one. Now, what I have to say is the Kiehls one and the Ordinary one are kind of a cream with little pearls in it. They have something in it that makes it feel a little bit gritty, both of them. The Kiehls one, not so much. The Ordinary one is almost an exfoliating scrub. But you work with it, it's cheaper, and you're not expecting it to be quite as luxurious as these other brands. This, however, I expected there to be some sort of grit to it because the majority that I've used have had that, but it's more like, I'll show you, I don't know if I can see, so that's it there, but it's actually much more like a mattifying primer. So you know, like Benefit's Professional or any of the kind of like almost slightly chalky feeling, and they end up making your skin feel really, really smooth and really, really like airbrushed. That's the feeling it's got to it, that kind of mattifying primer. I only use this in the evening. You can use it in the morning and the evening, but I feel like in the morning I already have so many other things going on in my skincare. I generally try and use this in the evening. Again, I don't use it every single night. I have alternative days for different things that I'm using, but I maybe use it 2 to 3 times a week. I have been enjoying it. It has made me kind of want to try more from the Inkey List. I think that this has been quite an interesting product. And with regards to this versus the Ordinary one, this is certainly a nicer feeling product to put on as opposed to the really, really gritty one. Now, I just want to put in a little like warning insert here. This won't apply to many, many people who watch my videos, but as I said earlier, I'm a 20 years diabetic. If you use vitamin C and you don't wash your hands and you take your blood sugar from any of your peripheral fingers, your blood sugar monitor is going to tell you that your sugar is much higher than it actually is. I have only just realised this despite using vitamin C's for the past year, and it's horrified me a little bit because a few videos ago I told you I had a really, really bad low blood sugar episode overnight where an ambulance had to be phoned. And what do I use before I go to bed at night? My vitamin C products. Now, it took me a while to realise that this was occurring because, as I say, I don't use it every single night, and it's not just this brand, I mean vitamin C as a kind of overall, but I don't use vitamin C every single night. So some nights, you know, you're getting ready for your bed, you're doing your evening skincare, you get into bed, I check my sugar before I go to sleep. It's plumb normal, it's fine. Okay, great, we'll go to sleep. Other nights I was doing the exact same thing, but that night using the vitamin C, getting into my bed, and it's telling me that my blood sugar was like 16 to 20, which is really high. So I would correct that with insulin because I'm thinking, God, my blood sugar's, and I think, I didn't really eat anything for dinner. Like, why has that happened? I don't know. So I correct it, and then boom, overnight I'd be like, in my boots, low blood sugar. Now, I don't really know, like, it's just because it had happened so many times I started to put 2 and 2 together. So I would be like, wait a minute, I don't feel like my blood sugar is that high just now. I haven't ate anything for that to occur. I'm going to go and wash my hands and make sure that there was nothing on my hands residual. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, from a biscuit or a cream cake or something like that, even though I'm not saying that I was eating that. But I thought there may be something just overlying on my fingers from what I've eaten that would mean that this has happened. So I was washing my hands with that in my mind. I would then take my blood sugar again, literally 2 to 3 minutes apart, and my blood sugar would tell me that it was normal. From 16 to 6 within 2 minutes. So I then was like, ding, light bulb moment. This stuff must have some sort of sugars in it, based in it. Maybe it's the citric kind of vitamin C side of things, because you know, orange juice, whatever. And it must affect if you have it on your hands. So just a word of warning, and I know that won't apply to a lot of people, but if you are diabetic and you use vitamin C, wash your hands after you use it, because it's going to give you false readings on your blood sugars, which can be dangerous. Alright, let's move on to makeup. Now, I only have 2 products this month. Again, purchased when I kind of picked up the other bits and bobs. I got something from Florence by Mills. This is the makeup brand, or skincare, it's more skincare based, brand by Millie Bobby Brown. Now, the reason I picked this up it's a blusher, it's a cream blusher. You know I love a cream blusher, but it's also this beautiful like berry plum colour, and for me this through the winter is going to be an absolute saviour. I'm going to put a little photo in here, and that is me wearing that on my cheeks, and it is very bright. It is that proper frostbitten, like you've just came in from the cold look, and I love it. And to be honest with you, I've been using that as well, smeared, that makes it sound awful, but kind of, you can use it really lightly. I'm just going to show you here. It's a very, very bright colour, but you can certainly blend it out, and it goes this really like berry pink colour. But see on your lips, you can do it like just round the borders, make it look like that really bitten, like stained look, and it's really, really effective on your lips as well as your cheeks. And it's not overly greasy. So I know like some people think cream blushers, I don't find them particularly greasy, but when putting it on my lips I thought, is this going to be like smearing everywhere? It wasn't. It almost like dries to a very fine powder, but not like an actual powder. It just seems to like settle, and everything is fine. So I've been using it on my lips and my cheeks, and I'm really, really impressed with it. Price point, I think it's reasonable, considering I use like glossy cloud paints and things like that. It's a little more expensive than some people would pay. But a cream blusher that I will get good use out of, and it has a 12-month kind of usage on it. I'll probably use that up quite well, and I'm a little bit kind of, I'll probably keep it for next winter as well. I know like people would say, oh, you should throw it away with a little thing on the back, but I will probably continue to use it till it's used up, unless it smells funny. Otherwise, this brand, I wasn't like overly enamoured. I didn't feel I had to pick anything up. A lot of the skincare stuff I think is very much aimed for a younger market than me, and a lot of it was quite basic. I think they were trying to do a little bit glossy as well and kind of get on that simple style, but it just didn't excite me. So I picked this up. I don't know if I'll pick anything else up. I'll maybe see if I see it in store, and that might change my mind. But it was good. I really liked this. Now, I also picked up, because there was like a wee event thing in Silverburn, and it was for students or whatever, and you went in and you spoke to some of the counters at Boots, and you ended up getting like a little goodie bag of stuff, whatever. If there's a freebie going, I'm going to try and get it. This is the number 7 Protect and Perfect Advanced All-in-One Foundation. Now, I have spoke about the Hydroluminous foundation from number 7 several times. I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's what I've got on just now. It's light. It says it's a foundation. I would say it's more of a BB cream. It's got an SPF of 15, which isn't wonderful, but I'll maybe use a cream underneath that has a higher SPF in it anyway. So when I seen this, I thought SPF of 50. I feel a bit like I bought these back to front. So in the summer, I bought the Hydroluminous because that's when it came out. And then in the winter, I've picked up this, and it's an SPF of 50 when I maybe should have had them the other way around. But I'm not enjoying this as much as the Hydroluminous. I think this is trying to be It Cosmetics CC cream. And I like It Cosmetics CC cream, but since finding other things this year, I've looked back on it and thought, that's actually quite a heavy coverage foundation, and it's not something that I'm overly enamoured with. I know it's got lots of skincare benefits as well, and people rave about it as their everyday foundation, but for me it is just a smidgen too heavy, and I prefer the look of a BB cream or a tinted moisturiser as opposed to a proper full-on foundation. And I feel this is probably the same. So I would be inclined to maybe use this at evenings, like if I'm going somewhere, if there's an event or something like that. But then I feel that kind of defeats the purpose of it having the SPF of 50, because if it's something you're going to be doing at night, if I'm going to a wedding in an evening, even if I'm going to a wedding all day, at this time of year, it's not really going to help me. I've got a wedding at the end of the month. I may wear this, but you know, it's going to be really cold and probably overcast in Scotland, so I probably could do with just my moisturising having SPF of 30 in it. I don't know, it says the coverage is medium. I think, yeah, it probably is medium. It's not like that full-on YouTuber or Instagram plastered, like can't see any marks on your face, but it's a little heavy for me, and I'll use it up obviously, but I don't know if I would purchase it again, whereas I know for a fact that I'll purchase the Hydroluminous over and over. There are a couple other little bits that I just want to mention, but they are not in here as favourites because I've literally just had them a week. I went to a Body Shop kind of Christmas event last week and picked up a few of their Christmas bits and bobs. I'm not going to pull that out now because anybody who knows me, you know if it's not December, I'm not talking about Christmas. I'm a little bit of a Scrooge that way, I'm sorry. If everybody else is getting really excited about the Christmas stuff in the shops now, I'm the one rolling my eyes at the fact that there's Christmas trees in the window. I just like to wait till December to like start actually thinking about stuff like that. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy your presents in advance, that's a really good idea financially, but I just don't want to be like, hey, let's celebrate Christmas, it's the 1st of November. Like, it's just not for me. I'm a grump, I'm sorry. But I did get invited along, and well, it wasn't like a press event, I don't want to say that. There was tickets, you could get tickets to it, but the tickets were free, so there we go, went along to it. And we did get a little goodie bag as well. We got a couple of like little hand creams and stuff like that. But while I was there, I picked up a couple of things which I purchased with my own money, and I picked up the Drops of Youth Body Shop Liquid Peel, Youth Liquid Peel. I have heard Michaela McDade speak about this before, and this is an exfoliant, I suppose. You could use kind of 2 to 3 times a week. You take a couple of pumps, you put it on a cleansed face, essentially. I wouldn't put it on with this makeup. I would take my makeup off, then I would use this, and within 30 seconds of using it on your face, you will get like literal dead skin, like balls of dead skin coming off your face. Now, I'm in kind of two minds because they do lots of versions of this. I wasn't aware. I thought this was the only one they'd done, and I went in with the intention of being like, I want to look for this. But actually, in their vitamin C range, they have a peel. In their kind of more anti-age range, they have a peel. In their tea tree range, they have a peel. So, is it a basis peel that they use, and then they add in other stuff to make it part of a certain range they have in the store? And I kind of, like, I've looked at the ingredients, and I spoke to Andrew from the Skin Saviour. He'd seen when I posted that I bought it, and he said like, oh yeah, it's a great exfoliant, it's a citric whatever. So I know there is some scientific proof behind it, but the absolute cynic in me is like, would this ball up even if like I had newborn baby fresh skin and had no dead skin to come off? Like, is there something in this that is a chemical reaction that makes that balling happen? Is it because I've got more dry skin on my hands that when I'm putting it on my face, that balling is so apparent? Because it is unbelievable the amount that came off. Now, I also thought if I start using it 2 to 3 times a week, the more I do it, the less balling up should happen, surely. So I'll have to keep you posted on that one, because I'm not entirely sure, and I'm not entirely sure if I believe what it's doing yet, but I'll have to use it more often to tell you. I can't pass judgment as yet. I will include this at the end of November and keep you posted. I also picked up the Drops of Light, as I say, another range, but they have a peel too. I'm sure they do, I think so. And this is a Pure Healthy Brightening Eye Cream. Now this is one of these ones, I've kept the box because I like being able to know what the ingredients and all that kind of stuff are, that has one of these little applicators, like the little metal applicators that you put on. I've been using this all week. I've been using it as my day cream, but at times overnight I've popped some on at night time as well. I've really been enjoying it. I don't really know the efficacy, is that the word I'm looking for? The effectiveness of it. I really enjoy Kiehls eye creams. I've tried other ones over the years, and I think for me, I want hydration. I'm not necessarily looking for any active stuff to be happening around about my eyes. That area of your eye is so delicate. I don't like kind of trying to exfoliate it or anything like that. That's not good. But this is basically got a little bit of that kind of, I want to say, luminance, like a little bit of, not duochrome, but it's got a luminous factor to it, which is just brightening under the eyes. I think it's doing a nice job. It's maybe not quite moisturising enough for me. I don't know at this point if I will purchase it again, but as I say, I will update you at the end of November on these ones. Alright, so that is it. I'm really sorry, this has probably dragged on a bit longer than I expected, but it's probably just because I've not made a lot of videos this month, and I've not had a lot of leather time. Basically, I'm going to have a couple of videos coming up, some capsule wardrobes. If anybody's ever seen the 10x10 capsule wardrobes, like you pick 10 items over 10 days and you get 10 outfits out of it, I'm going to try a couple of them. I am going away to Prague next week, and I will be trying to pack everything I need for 5 days into a tiny little carry-on, because I don't take big cases with me to city breaks and stuff like that. So that will be coming up as well in the future, plus obviously a Prague vlog. And then maybe then I'll get into a little bit of Christmas stuff once we get into November. I'm not going to be doing it before that. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Please comment and like below, give me a little thumbs up, subscribe if you've enjoyed, all that kind of stuff. And you can follow me over on Instagram as well. It's exactly the same as my channel name. I'll put everything below in the description box, prices, etc. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye!